Well, in just a few hours, RGV Focus will reveal their annual scorecard detailing how high school and college students in the Valley are performing compared to their peers and with other Texas students.
And joining us now are Luzelma Canales, the Executive Director of RGV Focus, and Dr. Stella Garcia from the Texas State Technical College in Harlingen. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Great to have you. Thanks for waking up so early.
I don't know how you all do this.
It takes a lot of coffee. Well, let's just talk about RGV Focus and what your organization does.
So in 2012, all of the back then it was 5 higher eds, now 4 higher eds, and the school districts came together and decided that it was time to come together to try and solve the issue of educational attainment. And so RGV Focus is a nonprofit that brings folks together, all the leaders. We have 11 of the 37 superintendents, all 4 higher ed presidents, and the 2 workforce boards, and some nonprofits working together towards the common vision of getting all kids in and through college.
And that kind of avoids the issue of like, oh, well, my kid learned this because they went to this school. You're just trying to have them all on the same page.
Well, we're working on a cradle to career, everything from pre-K enrollment all the way to workforce placement. The important thing is that most folks don't realize that we are about 75% the size of San Antonio, so the Valley is 1.3 million people, and we have 4,279 square miles, right? And so we want to move the focus away from communities and one district and one higher ed to all of us working together. 75% of the kids that go to high school in the Valley stay in the Valley to go to college. So imagine if we can streamline processes and remove barriers in our 4 higher eds. We take care of most of the issues for most of our kids.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Garcia, how did you gather the information? What will the scorecard reveal?
How do we gather the information? It was something that was decided back in 2012 that we would use the data that was already existing through the coordinating board and from Texas Education Agency. We wanted to use certified data that was kind of, you wouldn't question it because it was something that was already published. And so that was the decision of the leadership team that we would use existing data and measure ourselves against what others were being measured against.
And these are the scores that you're going to be revealing today. Tell us a little bit about why these results are important and kind of like, you know, what you're actually going to be revealing, what people are going to learn about our education here in the Valley.
So sneak peek here first. We're actually going to look at, for example, in 8 of the 11 metrics that we're using, the Valley is either at or higher than the state, which is really surprising, right? And if you disaggregate the data and you look at low-income kids or Latino kids, we outperform by double digits.
That's great.
You know, so when you look, for example, at pre-K enrollment, we enroll more kids that are eligible for pre-K than anywhere in the state. If you look at, and most people will be surprised, we send more kids to college than anywhere else in the state. So the Valley outperforms the state in that area. We do have some issues with college readiness. We all know that. Our kids, we have about 34% of our kids are English language learners. We don't consider that a deficit. It's really an asset of dual language, but how do we master the ability of those kids to take the kind of assessments that they do? We outperform in things like FAFSA completions, you know, which is kind of an indicator of wanting to go to college. So about 80% of our kids in the Valley are low income. And so when we've got about 59% of them completing this, we know that they're on a journey, at least to know how to pay for college and graduate without debt.
Yeah.
Well, what time will you be revealing the scorecard?
11 o'clock.
11 a.m.
Perfect, and it's open to the public so everyone can go. It's especially good for parents, so they know the type of education that their children are getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we will be at South Texas ISD down the street in Mercedes. We'll also be showcasing that fabulous facility that they have, you know, for preparing students for nursing and allied health and medical programs. And so come join us, whoever can come. It's open to the public from 11 to 11:30.
We'd love to have everyone there.
Awesome. Well, ladies, we can't thank you enough for being here this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for caring for the education of our kids. It takes all of us, which is what Collective Impact is about. So we appreciate being here at 6:15 to do this with you.
Thank you.
Bright and early. Yes,
You're
thank
very
you.
welcome.